Yeah.
Coach Archie Collins has joined us. Coach, thanks for spending a few minutes with us here today. And with that, our assembled reporters are good. We will open things up for questions. Mr. Carter, why don't you get us started today if you're okay?
Actually, I just need like another couple minutes here. I'm fixing some audio things here. 1 second, because I get my recording set up. 1 second, please.
Understood. I don't want to put too much pressure on you by any means. Jerry, would you like to get us started as I bucked tradition there?
Okay. How you doing, Coach? Nice to see you.
Well, great. Nice seeing you guys.
Tell me, when you go up against a team such as Louisville, that has all that speed, what's the first thing you tell your guys when you get started making preparations at the beginning of the week?
Well, I tell you what, we go against speed every day in practice all the time versus our wide receivers. So those guys understand how to handle speed. And, every game they enjoy challenges. So they're just excited to be able to play the guys that Louisville has right now.
Archie, what have you seen on film from Cunningham and his ability to push the ball downfield?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a really good arm. He's got a lot of velocity on his passes. He's got a good progressional read system that he's able to read through. And he does a good job for him. He's able to have good completion percentages as well. So he's doing a good job for him. He's leading the team well.
What, if anything, changes for your guys because, Cunningham's a pretty mobile guy?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's up front. We've got to know that will throw the ball on a run, but we got to do a good job bottling him up, closing down some of his rush lanes, as he's reading his progressions, and stay on our guys. Just lock those guys down when he does scramble and understand we're never going to come out of coverage.
Archie, DeMar after the last game talked about the one big play given up to Taj Harris and said that they corrected it quickly. What's some of the things that you guys have worked on this week to make sure that doesn't happen again? Because Pat was talking about on Monday that they've got two receivers that you guys got to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. You got a receiver by the name of number 122 and Dez Fitzpatrick. Both of those are guys are really good players. I think we just got to continue to do what we're doing. I mean, we're playing with a lot of confidence right now. These guys have played together a lot, so they're able to make adjustments on the field as well as on the sideline. And we know where that error was. Working and playing a lot of confidence and playing well with each other.
Archie, obviously Marquise is physically able to stand up to these wide receivers. How's he doing in the mental part, playing cornerback, where it's as much of a mental game as is a physical game sometimes?
I lost you a little bit. Tell me.
Oh, I was talking about Marquise Williams.
Okay, say it again. Like I said, it froze up for a little bit.
And how he's holding up as far as the mental aspect of playing cornerback as opposed to the physical aspect of playing cornerback.
Marquise Williams, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's doing well. I mean, like I said, he's known over the course of the last couple of years. He's got to pick his knowledge up, and I think this year he's shown that. So he's coming in each week, understanding certain things they're trying to get across to him. So it's been good watching him play in practice right now because he's starting to see those little things, which is going to show on Saturdays.
Pat has mentioned about Eric Hallett and how he can kind of play corner and safety. I mean, can you talk about his versatility and, how you guys can use him in so many different ways?
Yeah, well, Hallett's a very smart individual, so we've been it's been a good luxury to have a guy like him to be able to play corner as well as safety. He can make all of the checks. I don't think he's had any issues in regards to playing safety and corner. Move him around a lot in practice, so he's got the ability to adjust in practice. So we have a lot of confidence that he'll be able to do that in the game as well. So he's a trustworthy guy. He's a tough guy, and obviously he's got a lot of good knowledge. So it's a luxury to have a guy like Hallett on our team.
Coach, how unique is that to have those same type of or skill sets where you could play either?
Yeah, that is a unique trait, because everybody can't do it. And he's a guy that can go to the field and the boundary and safety as well. It is a unique trait. Not everybody can do that, but my hat is always off to him. We talk about it all the time for really the last 2 years, for him having the ability to do that because, again, it is a unique trait, Jeff.
Archie, do you think Eric could have a role in trying to lock up Tutu this week? I know that he runs pretty much all of his routes out of the slot, and a lot of times that falls on the safeties to take care of. And obviously, Eric has that positional versatility.
Yeah, well, that is an option. With that being said, I like DeMar Hamlin as well as Paris Ford back, being able to cover that guy as well. I feel very comfortable in the guys we got on the back end. So I just can't wait to see those guys play. So it'll be a great challenge for us because Tutu is a good player. He's got a lot of good quickness, got a lot of good speed. So we're going to have a lot of fun covering that guy, and as well as Dez Fitzpatrick and the guys that they have in the receiving core. So I can't wait for the game Saturday. I really can't wait.
Has DeMar gotten better when you stay in base and he has to cover that slot guy all by himself in space like that? Seems like he's been pretty good so far this year in that role.
He has. I mean, he's been doing it for some time. He's got a lot of experience now, which gives him a lot of confidence. So, he can see a lot in regards to that from having so much experience in game time situations. And so he can change his technique based on the guys in which that he faced week in, week out, which is a good trait to have, again, having all the experience that he has under his belt. Again, it's a good luxury to have a guy like him as well.
Archie, how much confidence do you guys have in Jason with how often you could put him in single coverage and just kind of let him work so that you can sort of emphasize different parts of your defense with everything that you guys are putting on it?
Well, it's good to have a guy like Jason Pinnock. I love what he does every day in practice. He just comes to work every day. He works his tail off. It's inspiring to watch him work at practice. Again, he's flying around here in practice, the same thing that you see on game day, he does in practice day in, day out. With that being said, I think he does a lot of great things fundamentally, as well as good technique that he does in practice, which carries over to the game. So, if you got a guy like him and you got an opportunity to leave him one-on-one, I say go ahead and do it. But he's going to play within a scheme of the defense as well. So he does a great job for us based on the calls, based on the situation, but I'm pleased on where he is so far this year.
Have you seen something different out of Jason with Damari going down? Has he kind of carried himself a little differently now?
Well, I'll tell you what, those Damari as well as Jason Pinnock were good leaders on the team, and they fed off each other. They kept each other going. And Mathis has been at practice, been able to talk to the guys, throughout practice as well. But Jason Pinnock has stepped his game up even more. He understands in which that because, again, like we talked about with Hamlin, having so much experience, during game time experience, him having the same game time experience, he understands how important practice is. He understands how to approach each day. He understands how to approach each game, as far as seeing the little things on film and being able to diagnose that during the game. And again, like I said, those guys have played together for, some time now, so they can kind of react off each other with that being said.
Archie, what does it allow a defense to do when you have this type of experience in the secondary?
Again, feed off each other. And most importantly is throughout the game, understand how teams trying to attack us, understand how to adjust on the sideline, which is very important within any game, understanding the check system in which that we have at our disposal based on what the team is doing to us to be able to change each game and during the game. Not always having to wait to halftime to make some adjustments, just, again, knowing the defense in and out.
Any final questions for Coach Collins?
Real quick, Archie, as a coach, as a secondary coach, what was it like the day you found out that Paris and DeMar were coming back for the 2020 season? How'd you feel that day?
I tell you what, I was excited. See the big smile on my face right now. It's fun watching those guys work every day. So we're excited when both of those guys decided to come back. And now we got to show it. We got to show all the experience that we have coming back in that regard and make plays. Like I said, and that's what we're going to continue to do week in, week out. We got to make plays through great fundamentals, great technique, great communication, and playing with a lot of doggone toughness. That's what you're going to see from us.
Coach, thank you very much for the time. Much appreciated.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Questions now for Jason Pinnock.
Jason, when you look at Louisville's receivers, kind of what do you see, especially in Fitzpatrick, a guy who will probably, you might see on the outside quite a bit?
Yeah, I mean, we love the challenge each week. We like to go into it. We know they got a great slot guy, but as far as 7, I think that is big guy. Finally get to get somebody my size. Had a smaller receiver last week. Challenged me to move my feet. This time it's going to be big on big, and that's something I like.
Jason, what do you make of the Louisville offense? And you guys don't see them all the time, like you saw Syracuse. It doesn't seem like they're the same kind of like spread it out fast. It seems like they're just more based on their athletes.
Yeah, I think they like to get their athletes in space. They know how to get their players off of press. They motion a lot. They do a lot of close sets and expand out, and that's how they avoid press coverage.
Jason,
Go ahead.
Jason, there are a lot of veterans in that secondary. How do you guys take leadership roles? How does that work with so many guys with so much experience?
Well, we set a standard in our room. It's, you got to be – the communication's got to be a lot more this year because of that. We have a lot of veterans in the room. We can talk a lot pre-snap, which allows us to play faster when the ball snap. And that's something we've been stressing, again, like what I said with the motions, the navies, the unbalanced formations they like to do to try and, win the numbers game. And the communication between the back end is going to be huge this week. And I like to see how, when we're tested, when it comes to the knowledge aspect of it, I like to see how we react as a room.
Jason, how's the young guy, Marquise, fitting in among all you older guys?
Great. He always had that veteran mentality. So when we knew we was going to throw him in the fire, we knew he'll come out alive. Scrappy dude, scrappy.
Jason, in the first 2 weeks, in each game, the secondary gave up a big passing play, but then quickly tied it back down and didn't give up anything else throughout the game. What's been the approach in both film study and in practice this week as far as to correct those? Because you're going up against a team that could pull off a few of those with the talent on their roster.
I'm glad you said that too, because it goes with, definitely that big play and limiting those because like you just said, that's how they're going to score their points. That's how they're going to move the ball, get their first downs, is motions, get somebody to bust a coverage, bust a check, make this wrong blitz. And like I said before, this is something we're going to stress this week. And I'm happy we get to get that challenge early in the season.
I know someone mentioned you haven't really seen Louisville in the past few years, but is there a team you guys played maybe last year that they remind you of?
Maybe Virginia. But I would say more so Virginia in the red zone with all the motion, the navies and stuff like that. But I wouldn't compare them to Virginia in the open field.
What stands out to you about Cunningham? He's a mobile guy, veteran. He can make plays with his feet and get the ball downfield.
Well, like you just said, yeah, it's always dealing with the dual threat quarterback. He's going to make plays. He's going to extend plays, keep his eyes up. So DBs, our number one rule is stay in coverage. You keep lock on your man, and that's what we've been emphasizing this week, keeping him contained.
Jason, this is a top 25 matchup. Normally it'd be a lot of hype, a lot of energy in that stadium. How have you found filling that void without the fans over the first couple of games?
Starts in practice. And since spring, we've always been the room to bring that energy from when we're going onto the field to walk through to warm-ups all the way through practice. We know that really the whole team feeds off the DB room. We try and bring that, and we love it. We love having that responsibility of the team. And, we try and bring that energy all throughout the whole game.
Is it just actions? Are there a lot of words? What do you guys say to get people going?
You gotta learn your teammates. There's some guys pregame that like to stay to themselves. They don't really talk. You let them vibe. And then you got some guys that need a little something, talk stuff to them, get them going, get them mad.
Jason, is there a feeling on this team that there's not really a ceiling as to how good you guys can be this season? And if and that if you want to prove that you're as good as you think you guys can be, that games like this one against Louisville are really important towards that goal.
Yeah, really what you just said. I don't think there is a ceiling for this room. I really don't. I think these are all three of us draftable guys easily. And me speaking, I think we're all draftable high. Smart guys have plenty of experiences from back in 2017. We've been working together, guys playing faster, and more plays are coming our way. I don't think there is a ceiling for this room.
Jason, we were asking Jared Wayne yesterday about the depth at receiver and about a couple of the new guys and Turner and Addison and Braden. I mean, what is the depth like? What's it? You go against them all the time. What would you say about your own receivers as far as talent and depth there?
Turner came in, made an immediate impact, and as you guys get to see now on the field, but just coming in, especially me as a DB who's really big on the knowledge aspect of it. I like when it's a chess game, and he's definitely one of those. He's a technician. He's very smart. He's smart within his routes. He can read coverages, post snap, and I love going against Turner. He's a smart guy. Who else? Aiden Henningham. Great, very receptive. After almost every rep, he wants to, oh, Penny, what's going on with that? Blah, blah, blah. How'd you see this? So I love that. As a vet, you love younger guys that are always asking questions. But they got depth.
What about Addison? What do you like about Addison?
Oh, 3? Oh, yeah. That'd be my go-to. I mean, as y'all can see, that'd be my go-to if anything. Get him in open field, get the hands on his ball. I mean, he's our new Frenchie. I don't like to compare people to people, but, as far as our offensive concept, he's our new Frenchie.
Anything additional for Jason? If not, Jason, exceptional job as always. Thank you for your time today.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.
All good.
Our ACC linebacker of the week. Cam, thanks so very much for joining us. We'll keep you but a few minutes because I know you have some commitments coming up. Questions, please, for Cam.
Cam, you had 10 tackles the other day, and it just seemed you were on the ball a lot. I mean, do you credit that to film study? Why'd you have such a good beat on what Syracuse was doing?
I credit that to our scout team. We get a good look all week. They play fast, so it's kind of second-hand nature when it comes game time.
Cam, what are the challenges that Louisville presents in the way that they run the ball? I know that Hawkins is pretty much, it feels like 75% of their runs, it's that stretch play to Hawkins, getting it to the outside and letting him use his vision. What are the challenges as an outside linebacker with that play specifically?
Oh, like you said, most of the time it's OZ, so they'll do a little eye candy here and there, and they'll kind of throw the rhythm off. So as soon as you start playing the play, that's when they come with something else.
Cam, has there been much talk among you guys in the locker room about this top 25 matchup? First time there's been a top 25 matchup at Heinz Field in a long time. Do you guys realize that, and do you worry about it? Do you care about it?
Well, of course, it's in the back of our heads, but it's just another opponent that's getting knocked off the list to us. So we don't really hop on it too much.
Cam, Pat told us at the beginning of the season that you and Phil were going to be the best outside linebacker duo in the country, and now you got young Wendell Davis fitting in. How do you feel about how Wendell's fit in between you guys and just the chemistry you guys have going so far?
I feel like he stepped up good and he's played his role well as a young guy with not much experience. But I feel like our chemistry is there from summer Zoom meetings over the spring, so we got to know each other a lot more over those longer workouts.
Cam, how well do you think this defense complements each other from the D-line, linebackers, secondary?
I think we complement each other well because we all know how to play in sync with each other. We know where to fit, how somebody else is going to fit, things like that.
Cunningham, the quarterback, he's a pretty mobile guy. I mean, what do you have to key on about him, and what stands out about his game?
Well, interesting thing is I played with Cunningham in high school, so I know his game a lot. So I know how to approach it and what his positives are and negatives are. So, but as far as our game approach, I just feel like we gotta contain him, keep him bottled up in the pocket, take away his first read.
What were those games like in high school when you guys played against each other?
It was like our high school Lamar.
Who won the games?
Oh, I was on his team, so we
Oh, you were
won.
teammates. Oh, okay.
Teammates,
Both Park Crossing products, correct?
correct.
Cam, what kind of runner is Javian Hawkins? I mean, just his style, and does he compare to any guy that you guys have faced, whether it's this year or last?
It doesn't really. He doesn't compare to many that we play. He's a straight line speed guy, spin running, one cut guy.
Cam, what's it going to be like to face a high school teammate at this stage, in this environment?
It's gonna be fun. This is like the game I was most looking forward to because, like in high school, I couldn't tackle him in practice, of course, because he was our QB1. So when I get to hit him and don't get in trouble for it, it's gonna be fun.
Are you guys friends? Do you stay in contact?
Yeah, we always together when we go home. Breaks we have work out together stuff.
And how much is this defense looking forward to the challenge of playing against this offense with so many top-level athletes on it?
But we're looking forward to it because it's just another statement we have a chance to make.
Anything additional for Cam? Cam, thank you so very much for your time today. Great job. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you.